Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is November 19th, and I have a question. I would like today to do a bit of a deep dive on Trump's health and Barr's health, and take a look at Pompeo quickly. So that's the plan. So let's just dive straight in. My first question is, what's going on with Trump's health? Like, seriously, what is going on with him and his health? That little mysterious trip to Walter Reed doesn't kind of make sense. So I just want to take a look at that and see if we can figure out what went on. Come on down. Okay, so Trump, physical, mental health. Trump, physical, mental health. Trump, physical, mental health. Okay. So, what we know for right now is that he is, frankly, delusional. He's confused. He doesn't have a lot of clarity. His reactions are like visceral and emotional. There is no logic. There is no reasoning behind how he is reacting pretty much to everything in his environment. He understands that what is going on around him is not good, okay? That it's making him look bad, that people maybe are having a hard time explaining, what he did and how he conducted himself, particularly with the whole Ukraine thing, Russia thing, because, he is feeling intense pressure from particularly Russia to fulfill the promises that he made. They basically are saying, this is the thing. You had a dream and we made your dream come true, and we did everything we could to ensure that you would have your wish. And now it's payback time. And he is getting that kind of pressure, whether it is coming directly from Putin or whether it is coming from, other sources, right? Like Russian advisors within the White House or whatever. But he's definitely getting the message that he needs to pay up. And I mean, Putin's not a stupid man. And he sees the writing on the wall. I don't know that even Putin thinks that he can actually pull Trump through another election. And so Putin is in an all-fire rush to get his promises, the things he wants, taken care of. And Trump is feeling that pressure, and it's creating a lot of confusion and whirlwind in his head. I do not believe, and I do not energetically feel that rush to Walter Reed was life-threatening or, in fact, even particularly serious. Now, does that mean that Trump felt that way? Probably not. Okay, he I'm sure thought that, he was in like some sort of grave danger. The reality is, from what I can gather, is that Trump basically is riddled with anxiety, nervous energy, incredibly high strung. He is revving internally at a really, really high pace. I shudder to think what this guy's blood pressure is, but it must be like through the roof. So clearly something significant was going on that prompted this rush to Walter Reed, because as you know, we've learned since that the White House is incredibly, incredibly well prepared to deal with sort of medical emergencies. So if they needed to draw blood or you know, it kind of doesn't make sense that there was this rush to the hospital. However, it happened. The excuse about visiting military families is ridiculous. The excuse about part A of a two-part health exam is even more ridiculous. And so clearly something was going on, and something was going on that caused him distress. And I want to say it was, you know, an emotional reaction. It was a strong emotional reaction. I think he is starting to recognize, in fact, that there are a lot of sort of foxes in the hen house, and that he is not as safe and he is not as protected as he thinks he is. And you can see he's starting to lash out at other people. You know, he's angry at Pompeo for not keeping his State Department in line and behaving like good little soldiers. He's angry with Barr because, you know, stuff that went on there is casting suspicion on, you know, Trump's influence. He's angry at Mulvaney because he didn't, you know, handle himself accordingly, and you know, he's definitely on the butcher block. So what you have is a man who's just simply angry with everybody and everything. And if you're in that state, of course, you are highly agitated. You know, I'm getting like rapid breathing. I am getting chest pain, but they're the kind of chest pain that comes sort of like almost from like hyperventilating, right? From not being able to slow yourself down and take a couple of deep breaths. Really, the guy should learn how to meditate. It would do him a world of good. But so, you know, that's kind of what I'm getting here. It was not some big life or death situation, but in part because Trump saw what happened to Bernie Sanders with the whole, you know, heart attack and the softening of his support, and then the concern. And Trump has always been particularly vain about, you know, not only his redonkulous appearance, but also his health. He would not want any information coming out that indicated in any way that his health was not perfect and better than anybody else's on the planet, and he's healthy enough to live for 200 years. So just the stress of knowing and feeling internally that something was going on that he didn't kind of have control over. There is not a way on planet Earth that the truth would ever have been released, okay? And you can't believe one thing that the White House says, not one thing. And so I don't know that, you know, in terms of a public domain, that we're actually ever going to get any clarity or truth about what happened. But certainly from what I can gather, it was definitely a sense of you know, hyperventilating, chest pains. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't headache issues with that, you know, high blood pressure issues. But when all was said and done, it was really not a big deal. This was more an overreaction, and you know, he took a day or two to rest. And that's kind of where we're at. If there is another emergency trip to the hospital, that will be interesting and definitely worth a deeper dive. But for now, I'm just getting, most of it is incredibly, incredibly emotional. And not in a I'm happy and joyful kind of way, but more in a I'm crazy, I'm out of control, I'm delusional, I don't know what to think, I don't know what to believe, I don't know which way to turn kind of way. He keeps hearing things, and what he keeps hearing does not reassure him. and he feels like he's being stabbed in the back, but he's so in this other place where, your loyalty to him has to be absolute. He doesn't have to have any for you or to you. So a lot of what's agitating him is this sense that people within his government as a whole, never mind, secretaries and their departments, are simply being disloyal. And that gets him right wound up, because he really doesn't believe that anybody should be disloyal to him. He truly is in a place mentally where he wants to be Putin. He wants to be Kim Jong-un. He does not see one problem with people treating him respectfully out of fear. And honestly, why would he? That's how he treats his family. He keeps them all in line and respectful out of plain fear. So, not surprising he would extend that as president to, the planet, because, he's rational and calm. So, there's a lot of assessing going on. There's a lot of trying to figure out how to get him into smoother waters. And frankly, he doesn't make it easy for anyone around him. And he has no control. So he keeps making it worse for himself. So we're looking at a heart issue, and we're looking at a blood pressure issue. But I do, the burdens are heavy, and he's starting to actually really feel the weight of everything brick by brick coming down around him. And nobody can figure out how to take him back to a place where he is in control and he is powerful. So basically, this is the bottom line. What you're seeing is the physical manifestation of the negativity and the harm of his mental state. Spiritualists, psychics, intuitives, probably your family doctor, understand the connection between your thinking, and that leads to what you say. And what you say leads to a physical manifestation. So, bottom line, that's what we are witnessing. We are witnessing the physical manifestation of Trump's cruelty and his, frankly, evilness. All of the things that frankly appall most people about Trump, they are now, coming to a place where there is actually a physical reality or reaction from that. Is he going to die in office? No. Is he likely to use ill health as a reason to leave office early? You bet he is. If it comes down to that, he will, just create a story, and that will be his excuse. But I do not see that his health is in any significant danger at this point. Let's take a look at Barr. Speaking of people who probably are not experiencing the best health right now. Let's let's take a look at good old William Barr. I don't know if any of you saw, he recently gave a speech at, I think it was the Federalist Society, and I think it was over the weekend. I could have that wrong. But he literally, they're calling what he went on a screed. Okay, so this was like, he was like ranting and raving about the left and how they're, you know, holding the right. I mean, it was crazy. The excerpts that I saw, he just is so entrenched in the story that he is trying to sell that I don't believe that he actually, you know, in part, yeah, was he performing for an audience of one? Sure. But ultimately, I actually am starting to suspect that the pressure is getting to him and he's actually becoming a little unstable. Which, again, you know, thoughts, words, reality. Okay? Physical manifestations. Barr, mental, physical, Barr, mental, physical, Barr, mental, physical. Alrighty. Barr is the keeper of the secrets for the fool in chief. And for him, part of his motivation was money, literally. It was about dollars. But part of it actually was about ego and status, right? I mean, you've got this sense that he just wanted a bit more, you know, he wanted to sort of reestablish kind of that shining career, I guess, that he at some point thought he or believed he had. And honestly, a lot of Trump's sort of attitudes about how powerful a president is are really actually in line with a lot of what Barr believes. And so for him, it wasn't that big of a stretch to continually offer Trump more power and more authority and more say-so. It doesn't matter that broke traditions and norms, whatever. He is of the opinion that, you know, the president is considerably more powerful, I think, than the average American thinks they should be or wants a president to be. So that's kind of the current state that he's in. I mean, he has a lot of secrets that he's keeping. And at some point, you know, the secrets are going to come out, okay? The truth always wins in the end. He is sort of, I almost want to say he's not really in a mental state where he understands that right now. He really believes that he himself is incredibly powerful. And as a result, he can, you know, control the situation. And what he's going to discover is that, you know what, he probably really can't. And as things move forward, he is going to become more and more sort of embattled, more defensive, more protective, and frankly, much busier guarding the fool. So that's going to be, you know, I guess what I'm saying is from Barr, we can expect an increase in kind of the nonsense. Okay, there's nothing that indicates he's going to pull back or rein it in. In fact, there is every indication that he is going to keep on pushing forward, because somewhere along the way, he has started to believe that he is the second most powerful person, you know, probably in the world. Just like Trump thinks he's the most powerful person in the planet, despite the fact that he's being a puppet for just about every one of America's adversaries. So, yeah, when this is said and done, his reputation is going to be unrecoverable, okay? It's going to be tarnished to a place where it's not really going to be able to recover. His health is not good. The pressure is getting to him. The lies and the secrets are becoming his reality and his truth. So he's a little bit like kind of losing touch. The judgments that he has passed that are opposite to the truth, opposite to the rule of law, intended to distract, intended to twist, to manipulate, block, prevent. There is judgment coming for him on that. And it's not going, judgment followed by the death card is just, really not, it's not good. Yeah. The secrets are getting to him. He's starting to confuse them. And as a result, you also see his physical health being impacted. He certainly doesn't look good. He doesn't look like a healthy specimen of human beings. He definitely looks like he is overstressed. He looks like he is, puffy and his coloring is off. I mean, he just doesn't look good. I don't have, any clarity right now of what the actual end game might be in terms of his health, or frankly, at this point, even much clarity on what his end game is going to look like in terms of the Department of Justice. That's what I know for now about him. All right, let's take a quick look, real quick, at Pompeo. He is, oh my God, he is so far up Trump's butt, that there's nothing I can say that won't come out vulgar, but, put whatever picture you want into your head and go with it. Literally, he was asked about, I think it was about Yovanovitch. I'm not sure, but somebody was asking him if he agreed with Putin's attack and his assessment of her. And his answer literally was, I defer to the White House. What? It's your department. It's your department. And he just defers. He has been shown to be so weak-spined and really such a snake. I don't know. It's as if he really does think that he can ascend to the presidency at some point, and he really thinks that this is going to get him to the presidency. Yeah, I got news for him. I don't really see that happening. So let's take a quick look at Pompeo. Pompeo, mental, physical health. Pompeo, mental, physical health. Pompeo, mental, physical health. Oh my Lord. Okay, so literally, he is so enjoying the power the adulation, if you will, the acknowledgement, the recognition that he has absolutely no problem, none at all, with whatever rumors or whatever goes around, whatever said. It doesn't matter. He is so insulated or so taken with that old boys club that is very tight within the White House, that he literally has lost sight of, honestly, his job, his reality, and the truth of the situation. He is so under the spell. And whether that is because he actually believes Trump, or simply because he is so enamored with the attention that he gets, the title, that he just chooses to not see with any great clarity the destruction that is coming for him. It's like he just doesn't see it. But you know what? It's coming, and it's coming fairly quick, because Trump is getting cranky about all of these State Department officials who keep talking. And so, when he's hanging that exactly on Pompeo's door and saying, you need to control your people, again, it is this attitude of everyone must be obedient and everyone must comply to the king's wishes. And in part, make no mistake, in part because Pompeo envisions himself as that same kind of all-powerful president. And so, because that's the kind of seat or throne he would like to sit in, he, of course, is not going to really find a lot to complain about if another president is doing it. He thinks that somehow he is going to salvage his reputation within his peers, within the people that surround him. Ultimately, he feels like he should be able to just bounce back from this and balance everything out, and it'll all go away. It'll be fine, and he's going to end up being some glowing, shining star. Okay, yeah, it's not going to happen. Okay, he's not. There's definitely trouble coming for him. He also, because of the secrets he has kept, he has created his own downfall. He's not as strong as he thinks he is, and his position is nowhere near as strong as he thinks it is. I would go so far to say that if the testimony from employees of the State Department really create bad news for Trump, Pompeo will be, he's gonna go the way of Jeff Sessions, right? You're gonna see Trump starting to complain and say things. Maybe not just yet, because there's kind of enough on old Trump's plate. But I would not be at all surprised if, in the not too distant future, there was sort of clarity about the fact that, in fact, Pompeo was not number one on Trump's hit parade. Or maybe he is number one on Trump's hit parade. I guess it depends your connotation of the word hit parade. And one final thing, just energetically, the Sondland testimony tomorrow should prove interesting. It's not... energetically, I see it sort of being as if both sides are going to be able to score points. Okay, he's going to have some really interesting things to say. He's going to have to definitely fess up on some stuff. There's some stuff I actually think he's going to refuse to answer. But both sides, I think, it's not going to be neutral. But definitely the Republicans are going to be able to make a lot about the fact that he wasn't truthful, he wasn't honest, and they're going to play on the why should we believe you now, and completely ignore the fact that probably everything Sondland says is going to be corroborated or has been already by other people. Okay, so I've rambled quite long enough. I thank you so much for your support, your kind words, your generosity. They just mean everything, and I am so grateful for the people who have chosen to follow my little Soulprint channel. So thank you once again from my heart. If you're interested in a private reading, that little box down below will tell you exactly how to make that happen. Until next time, take care, be well, and we'll see you really soon. Bye.